Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. So this is a fun one. So I posted a social media image this morning because it's National Donut Day. So I thought we should maybe create a fun, cute little card for that is like themed by the donuts, right? So I've created a few other things with the More Than Autumn stamp bundle, but so we're going to create this super card just to celebrate National Donut Day. So make sure that if you are not on my email list, that you add your name to my email list before the weekend, because I'm going to send out a little cheat sheet this weekend with the dimensions for the card, and then it'll link back to the video and the blog post, all those fun things. Whatever is attached to this will be detailed in my newsletter. I do send out like a weekly newsletter every, typically on the weekend at some point. And it kind of just goes over like whatever I've created here live. And if I have a new workshop to share with you, all of those fun things. So I'm going to add my desk in here and we're going to get started. If you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. If I do miss it, Facebook has had quite a little bit of a lag the last little while. So if I don't look like I'm going to answer it, you can ask it again, or I will come back and I will answer the questions, I promise. You know, just all of those fun things. Okay, I have it. Oh, no, actually, the light's not bad. It is beautiful here. Hey, Susie. It's beautiful here. And so I actually have enough light in my office, in my email. No, in my office today that actually it's not bad. I'm not really sure why it looks kind of crooked, but I don't like to mess around too much with my camera once we get started, because you never know the crazy things that'll happen to me. I'm just gonna, oh, wrong one. Okay, one moment. Let me just concentrate here. And I will zoom just a little bit to try and get rid of some of that little fisheye look there. Okay, so like I said, here is the card we're going to create. So I made this one into a birthday card, like, because I don't actually know somebody that I'm going to send a card to for National Donut Day, but I'm always up to eat them if you guys want to send them to me. I do really like donuts. So, okay. So, like I said, make sure that you are on my email list. And if you are not, I will actually add it to the comments right now. Do. It's just they make everything not very easy some days, right? Hey guys. Okay. I see Kayla jumped on YouTube, and that is the funny thing. So the funny thing is that anybody that comments during the live on YouTube, you won't actually see those comments after. I think unless literally you like watch it back through, sometimes they do pop up. But I'm watching for questions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm going to do like a little recipe sheet, and it's going to be in my newsletter this week. But I just thought this was super cute idea, and I'm just going to create this card. So actually I need my trimmer. So, and if you go to my blog, you will see that potentially these are like my color wheel going on here. So My blog is all like kind of pool party and pink, all of those fun things. So I'm just going to put some things here beside me. These are all my little parts and pieces here. My twine, because you know, we need some good twine. I did stamp beforehand with Memento so that they had time to dry before I started, because I'm going to color with my tri-blends. Not my tri-blends, my Stampin' Blends. Oh my goodness. I'm going to color with my Stampin' Blends, not my tri-blends. And there's my embellishment. Okay, so here we go. I do, like I said, I have all my pieces already stamped and ready to go. But we're going to, so I have a liner for the inside of my card, right? Just a standard liner in Willow White. And then I have a white piece for the front, and that's like 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. No, it is. See, this is why you want to get the dimensions in my newsletter versus me telling you, because 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Holy smokes. Okay, so we're going to do a standard card base. This is Pool Party. And so this is 11 inches long, and I'm just going to score it at 5 1/2. I'm not cutting it. Okay, and then I should move my trimmer out of the way because I will have an accident. You guys all know that. And then, okay, let's just fold this and let's get going. Okay, so I would love to know what everybody's favorite donut is. Some people don't like donuts. So my daughter does not like donuts. So I totally get that people do not like donuts. But if you have a favorite donut, I would love to hear about it. Okay, so then maybe we'll do our liner first, so then I can clean up my glass mat and then just work on the front. Okay, so these two pieces are the same, right? So one's for the inside and one is for the front. So like I said, on the inside, I did make this a birthday card, and I used something that just got released today for the inside. And so that's Cake Celebrations, because I think if you're going to celebrate, you can always celebrate a birthday, right? And I really loved the script font here. So you could just stamp like celebrate on the inside, but I am actually going to put celebrate on the outside. So I didn't want to double the same sentiment. So I'm going to use the script happy and birthday. And obviously you could also just use the same kind of pattern and put the birthday cake on the front if you prefer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I have my Pool Party ink and my Pretty in Pink. We're going to put a little bit of ink around the edges, and then we're going to stamp our sprinkles around the edge and add our sentiment. Chocolate filled from Dunkin' or strawberry frosted Krispy Kreme. Okay, so we just got a Krispy Kreme here in the summer. So I am still not familiar with the Krispy Kreme varieties of donuts. It was actually just the first time, I think it was a week and a half ago, I went into the store and watched the little conveyor belt. It's like literally, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it must open in the summer, and you literally could not get near the building. And I didn't think I needed a donut that badly. Okay, so I have Pool Party, and I'm going to do it really light around the edges just to kind of bring a little bit of the Pool Party color onto the card. So on my glass mat, I tapped off literally almost everything. Okay, and I'm going to pull the ink off my glass mat onto the white daisy, because it's like can be nice and gentle that way. You don't get like that really harsh line, right? So I'm actually using this ink on the side and pulling it in. And like I hardly have anything. I just wanted kind of like that little halo around the outside. And I don't think we have Dunkin' Donuts here. I'm pretty sure we don't. We have like quite a few new like gourmet donut places. And we have Tim Hortons. And where else can you get donuts from? Little, like I said, so my daughter that does not like donuts, also on top of that has a peanut allergy. So we do have like a bakery that is actually, it moved and now it's very close to us. And they are nut free because the owner's daughter had an allergy and had a super hard time finding baking. And they have started making donuts and they're very good too. She still doesn't like those. She would prefer something else from the store. But okay, so now I'm going to take the sprinkles, and the sprinkles are in the More Than Autumn stamp set. This is like got so much goodness in it. There's like tons and tons of little stamps. So this is where the coffee cup with the liners come from. I'm going to use the little heart and the donut, obviously. But you guys, I've used this before on other projects on lives. So you can make sure if you're looking for inspiration to go back and look at past videos. Okay, so I am going to kind of create like a sprinkle border. And I'm just rotating the sprinkles so they don't all look the same all the way around. And I'm using Pretty in Pink. And then I'm just going to, and some I'm actually like stamping off the edge and doing more or less. I just don't want them to all look exactly the same. But I am using first generation ink, so like the true color, any donut from Tim Hortons. My husband would actually agree. So that is, it's funny. So like my son doesn't live here anymore, but my husband would wander down to Tim Hortons at work for a cup of coffee and to get my son a donut to bring home. But I'm pretty sure it was just so he could have coffee and a donut. But if he says he's bringing one home for the kid, right, then it's okay for him to go and get his own. But we never saw those ones. I would only just sometimes find like the residue of the, like, so Tim Hortons has like a paper bag that they put your donut in, right? If you just get one, obviously they come in a box if you get more. But lots of times I could find the residue of the bag in the car. Or like if he drives the dogs to daycare, he stops for, they have like a pack of Timbits, right? Like the middle. And he takes them to the doggy daycare for the daycare girls. And I know he's like, oh, it's just a special treat because they take better care of the dogs. And I actually know it's so that he can get his own donut. Okay, I'm just going to wipe my desk so I don't get ink on everything. And of course, I did not wet my chamois for cleaning my desk. So I'm just going to use baby wipe. Okay. And I'll just move that out of the way. And I'll just dry this off. And then we'll stamp our sentiment. Like I said, I really liked the pretty script from that Cake Celebration stamp set. And that is just available for ordering to customers today. If you're a demonstrator, it was already on preview. Okay. So Dunkin' stopped making donuts in-house and ships them now. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so I am, and I think we have Dunkin' like coffee in the grocery store, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I just put, I cheated because I didn't want to pull out 2 blocks for the happy birthday. So I just put them on each end of a block. So there's happy, and I liked this script because you can fit the 2. The donuts aren't as good as when they're shipped to your home. I'm sure they're not as good when they ship them to your home. I'm just gonna wipe the happy because that's the only issue with doing it this way is I don't want the ink. I'm assuming they would have to like ship them pretty fresh or nobody would actually still buy them, right? And then I just tucked, I'm sure, oh, sorry. I just tucked it in like that. There we go. So like I said, that's from the Cake Day celebration. And that is, I think, all the stamping we have to do because I did do the all the stuff for the front beforehand. Okay, I'll move those off to the side. We're going to just add our liner and then, oh, they ship to the store, not to your home. Okay, well, that makes more sense. Like the grocery store. As I'm like looking, trying to find something to actually, there we go. Sorry. Sometimes, you know, I get a little confused. Okay. So super pretty. Ta-da. Okay. So, like I said, now this is all going to come together super quickly. We have the white piece. And then I have a slightly smaller piece of Pool Party also. And I embossed it with the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. My favorite. I love, well, I like plaid no matter what. But when you can make paper into plaid. So I didn't do it on this one, but I was thinking maybe we should add a little bit of Pool Party ink to the background, like just a halo kind of behind where we're going to put all of our stuff. So I'm just going to, just so I don't have to clean my mat again, I'm just going to kind of create a fun little halo. And the fun thing too is because the paper is embossed, the stripes pick up the ink really nicely. Okay, so we're also going to do something else I didn't do on my first card, but we're going to do it on this one because I can. I am going to splatter a little bit of Pool Party ink in the background. So this is literally a super embarrassingly gross water brush, but I'm just going to pick up a little tiny bit of ink and use my water brush and just splatter it. And I want a little bit more. And I don't know that I want so much water this time. So I'm not putting any water down. I just wanted a little bit more solid. Oh, excuse me. Don't worry, I'm okay. And I'm just going to clean off my water brush. This is my like bad water brush. But all the other ones are empty, and I probably actually could have just used one of those instead. So there we go. I have just a little bit in the background. And I'm also going to use Wink of Stella. So we're going to add a little bit to the background here also. And then I am going to sprinkle it on top at the end, or paint some on. So I'm just going to squish some out onto my block. Just because I feel like I have more control. And I think it's almost time to open a new Stella. Okay, I'm still going to use that for when I decorate. Okay, so let's let that dry and make sure I have all my parts and pieces. Okay, so the Celebrate comes from the Wanted to Say dies, and I used silver foil paper and then a layer of black, and then I just sandwiched a whole bunch of white layers. So we are going to have to glue this together though. So I'm going to do that first so it has a chance to dry. So I did attach the silver already to the black just because that silver, that skinny piece is a little bit thin. So I wanted to make sure it didn't get ruined. And then I just ran some scraps through. So I have a couple that are black and a couple that are white, just to add some bulk. So it was literally whatever I had left over sitting on my table. So I'm just going to add my layers together. And then because it's so skinny, right, the C and stuff, then you don't have to worry about trying to do 3D foam. I still did like 3D foam on the donut, but so I have two more here. I don't know if I need that many. Well, they're sitting here, we might as well do them. This feels like it might be more. Maybe not. Okay. So we'll set that aside to dry, and then I'll color. And it's just like some super simple, quick coloring. And some of it I just left white, like the whipping cream icing sugar. Whipping cream is just white. And the marshmallows are just white. I just added a little bit of Wink of Stella to them. And then all the tri-blends too that I use will be on the inspiration sheet too. So we don't have to really worry about keeping track. But it's pretty simple coloring. So I'm just going to set my block down for that to dry. This is drying. So then we just have our little pieces to color. And like I said, it's super simple coloring. I didn't do anything crazy. Because the tri-blends, Stampin' blends. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Okay, so we have 3 donuts. And I have an extra. Because you always got to have an extra donut, right? I have 1 whipping cream, 1 set of marshmallows. I have 2 coffee cups. I have 3 hearts. And then I have 2 bands here, and this piece of paper is from the Nest of Winter. Is that right? Paper. And so I just looked for something that went nicely with the pool party. So I just stamped 2 bands. I'll glue those together and then we can do our quick coloring. Actually, I have to color my cup before, but I'll just finish fussy cutting these out. There we go. So you could totally pick any sort of color scheme, right, to do this. Like if it was, like you could also, like if it was an anniversary, like on that same set, there is an anniversary sentiment. You could like do it like, is it the silver anniversary or the gold anniversary? And make a fun anniversary card. Or like if somebody has favorite colors, right, you could totally do this in their favorite colors. Okay, so we have the 2 liners. Okay, so let's color the coffee cups first. And I used crumb cake for my coffee cups. Okay, that I'm finished with. We could put it up there. Just trying to make a little bit of room so I can even get my hands in the photo. Okay, so this is my light one. And I'm using my brush end and just putting down a little bit of color. And obviously all of my markers are relatively new, so they have lots of ink and very juicy. And then I'm going to add some darken. And I could probably leave my caps off while I'm doing this. And now I'm just going to blend a little bit of that out. And I love that the artist kind of makes everything super easy by adding so many lines in there, right? So you know where you're shading and stuff. Lots of people do dark to light. I don't know. I've always just added my light in first. So it's totally a personal preference. And it does for sure take a while to get used to the Stampin' Blends versus the Tri-Blend, which I keep trying to call them. It's a different feeling. The ink flows differently. But once you get used to it, it's like lots of fun. And if you wanted to just go in with your darks first, you totally could. But I also love that like literally everything color coordinates, right? So there's a dark and a light for most of the colors, and it like totally takes the guesswork out of it, right? You don't have to worry about trying to match something up. Nothing like that. Okay, so our cups are ready to go. Like I said, I didn't add anything other than I'm going to paint the whipped cream and the marshmallows with Wink of Stella. But let's do the hearts first. And I did Pretty in Pink for my hearts. And this is my light. So I'm just tapping in some color. I'm okay if there's little white spots there, because it just kind of adds another layer. Now with the bullet end of this, I just kind of tapped in a little bit of dark, because you don't really, like there's not a ton of space there on these, right? So You could even just do like 2 layers of the light to make it a little bit darker. Okay, so now I have 3 donuts. I'm going to do 1 pool party donut and 2 pretty in pink donuts. But like I said, you could totally swap these out and change them up depending if they had a color theme or something. So I'm going to do my pool party donut first. And I actually used for my donut part pecan pie, which I know doesn't sound like a donut. It sounds like a pie. Good morning, Gay. I know it's probably still really very early for you. So this is a very small area. So a couple of tips is I did use the bullet end. I am just using my light. If you want to add more with the dark, you can. And the more you hold your bullet tip upright, the smaller space it'll fill in, right? So like if you think about it like this, you're obviously covering more surface. If you are coloring more like this, you have less point touching your paper. So if it's a really small space, just go more like this. I'm going to actually do all the bases of the donuts. And there is a little bit on the inside, which I didn't actually notice the first couple of times I colored the donuts. So you could also like make them lighter if you wanted, but I thought that the pecan pie kind of went nicely with the crumb cake on the cups too. So that's funny. I'm not really sure why my emails are still coming in because I did actually turn my do not disturb on. So sorry about that. Okay, so that's literally all I did with the pecan pie. So the donuts I literally just had fun with and kind of made them a little bit messy because when you're icing things, right, that is kind of how you do it. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do 2 pretty in pink and then 1 pool party. And so I did, like I said, I always, if you're different, do you, but I always typically color light first. So, and again, I'm using the brush end and I'm like, just like scribbling because I don't want it to be perfect. And then I'm going to come in and just kind of add some darks over top. I'm going to try and leave a couple of little spaces that are white because then that kind of just ends up being like a highlight. There is my light end and there's my dark end. Okay, so then I'm just kind of touching in a few places that are a little bit dark. Like I said, it's also not a crazy big area to color, right? So don't stress out about coloring it too much. Ta-da! Oh, so cute. Okay, so we've got 1 donut done. Now our second donut, same thing. I'm going in with my light first. You want to be messy with the icing, right? Light, and then I'll tap in some of the dark. Over top of some of the sprinkles. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'll put my lids back on because that's it for Pretty in Pink. I will do my pool party donut and same thing. So my light one, and I'm just like, and like I said, I do actually really like the brush tips on the Stampin' Blends. You can color like lots of space. you don't get like harsh lines. Okay, and then I'll tap in my dark in spots. And obviously some of the markers, there's more of a difference between the light and the dark. Some are a little bit closer together. But like I said, I love that I don't even have to think about it. Oh, so cute. Okay, and then I will just blend it a little bit with my light again. There we go. Okay, now we just need to put it together. Okay, so I think we have everything except for we need our little, so I do have a piece of twine. So from the Baker's Twine, the Essentials pack, I'm just going to cut off a length, tie myself a bow. There we go. And I will trim off my ends when we get to that. So I know if I have to pull it one way or the other. Let's add our paper to our coffee cups or teacups or hot cocoa, I guess, with the marshmallows, right? So there's one and here's the other. I'm just setting the block down on top of it for just for a few seconds so it actually just like sets up. You could also color and stamp, right? There's little icons, so many little cute icons, right, in that stamp set. You could stamp the little gingerbread man on the coffee band, or the heart, or there's the pumpkin, right? Or an apple if it's apple cider. I love when there's lots of little things that you can tuck into spots. Okay, so let's add this panel. And I actually think I like the one with the little bit of extra ink in the background. So I'm glad we did that. So even if you're watching the replay, remember if you add your name onto my newsletter, I'm going to send out the little recipe for making the card for yourself. And you could obviously use different things. It does not have to be this. Okay, so the first thing, because this is my sentiment, right, for the front of the card, right, because we already have our piece stamped on the inside. And I seem to have... There we go. So I know that I want this kind of like 3/4 of the way down the card. So I'm just kind of placing it. And then I might have to move things around, right? Depending on how this comes together. So I actually like my whipped cream and the marshmallows tucked behind the coffee cups. So I'm actually going to glue them together first. So I just ran a little bit of glue on the bottom and then added my coffee cup on top. And we can do the same thing with the marshmallows. And then I will paint them. Oh, Susie's getting this set today. Out for delivery. That's always such an awesome email to get. Right? The out for delivery email. Okay. So we're just going to... Now, I know, right? I want one pink donut up here. And I have it off the edge, right, of my design. And then we have our one with the whipped cream. I'm going to put up here. And then I have this one with the marshmallows, we're going to tuck it in and a little bit lower. Like that. We have our second pink one is going to go over here. So let's just see how we're doing for space. Yep, that's about right. I'm going to actually pop this one up on 3D foam for right there on dimensionals. Let's do a small dimensional. So if I have to kind of put it over top of something, we have some wiggle room. Yeah, always love that. It's out for delivery today email. It's always way better than we're shipping it. It'll be to you sometime. Okay, so this is our little donut for down here. Okay. So I might just move this up a little bit. So I'm going to start with this piece. Right about here. And now I can tuck my donut in. And I like when I have little pieces like this. Use my little silicone mat. And I can just tuck it in underneath. But it's off the side a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add adhesive onto this piece. And I'm going to add glue onto the C part. And then I'm going to add adhesive on here. And I'm going to kind of put everything together all at once. Okay. So, because I don't really want to put my head in your view. But let's have this one kind of over here. Whoa. It bounced. There we go. And our little... I thought that the crumb cake kind of made the cups look like, you know, like the corrugated, like recyclable cups almost. It gives it kind of the right color for a recyclable cup. Okay, so I'm just tucking that one in underneath. And there we go. There we go. And now we could take our backings off of this one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have this little jar on my desk to put my garbage in, and then my cup is right beside it, and I almost threw my garbage in my drinking cup. And I don't know if anybody is a painter here, but like that's typically what happens when you're painting, right? Is you have like your cup with that you wash your brushes out in, and then you have something to drink, and I am forever putting my paint brushes in like my water. Okay, there's our third little donut. Okay, so I'm going to actually add my bow in now. And then I could put my hearts on. And then I just have to paint with the Wink Stella. And I think we'll be all done. Okay, so I like to add as much as possible with glue dots. You know that. So I'm going to actually add a glue dot to my bow. I'm just going to even this out a little bit. First, I'll make sure that it's kind of, and it is kind of the right size I want. So they don't match up right now. I'm going to fix that in a second though. The tails. So I'm going to squish that glue dot on there. These are just leftover glue dots from kits that I want to use up, but you can always get like a roll of glue dots. Love a good glue dot. Okay, and I'm just going to put it like right there. Okay, so now I'm going to trim up the ends so they're pretty. Trying not to cut my donut. There we go. Okay, so we just have our little hearts, and I actually think I will do those with glue dots. Okay, and then for my embellishment, this is like literally one of my favorite ones. You can see I have a spare package. It's the iridescent faceted gems because it goes with almost everything, right? But it's a little bit cuter than just a rhinestone. Super fun. Okay, so we'll do, how about we add our hearts with glue? So I'm going to do one here. And here it is. So I can do one like right there. And we'll add one over here. And then I'm going to add one here on the edge of my donut. This one I'm going to actually put a little bit lower so it's not covered by the ribbon. And I do actually like that little bit of sparkle in the background. Okay, so let's cover that up. We'll move this out of my way. Okay, so our gems, I'm going to do a big one and a little one up here. And then I have 3 at the bottom because you know it's always about odd numbers with me. So then a big one and a little one. And that's another big one, but I could actually just use, no, I'll use a big one. And that just kind of pulls off it just kind of highlights that silver nicely. There we go. So super pretty. So the last thing is I'm just going to sparkle up my whipped cream and my marshmallows and then maybe splatter it a little bit. Okay, so I still have a little tiny bit on here from before. So I can pick that up and paint my whipping cream. And if you don't like glitter, then don't do this part. But I think it's kind of sometimes the fun little details, right? So I just kind of touched on all of the marshmallows there. And then I can pick up whatever is left on here. And just kind of splatter the top of my card. There we go. Kind of cute. And there's inside. Okay guys, that's what I've got for you today. Don't forget, if you want the little cheat sheet, make sure to sign up for my newsletter. The link for that is in the description above and it is in the comments of the video. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure to let us know what your favorite kind of donut is. You never know, you might spark somebody else to try something new. Oh, you're very welcome, Susie. Do you ever do a sampler? Like, do you mean like the thing that you hang on the wall? Like I have one there. I have done them in the past. I think that I've done like a fall one. I've done a winter one. I have not done one recently though. So, but I know if you like look back on my YouTube channel, I'm sure you could actually find one that I have actually done live. Okay, guys, that's what I've got for you today, and have a great evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.